and it's a wild market right now anyway. So everything considered, I'm busy.
And for the audience, we're so glad that we're back at it again this week. And here working hard through the weekend to get people the numbers and the reports and the right stuff that they need to know for the week to come. And you put this out every week. I'm excited about today's episode because we were going to talk a little bit more about this course that you have for
Yeah,
4.95. It's on sale right now. The holidays are here. We've been talking about generational wealth and being able to leave something behind for your children and grandchildren. And not only that, but to teach them how to invest using this method themselves so that they can plan
and
for
they're
their
simple
future
to
as
learn.
well.
They're not hard at all. But the
So
course
tell
will
us
help you with a lot of subtle points that you want to know about to make your profits even higher with AIM.
So give us a little, just kind of the bullet points of what we're going to experience when we take your course, the AIM investing
Okay,
course.
when you take my course, and I have two versions of my course, because that's how I learned it from Miracy, who had a great online program to help teach me how to create a course. Because I had the knowledge, but I didn't know how to create a course. And they really helped me. And we found a good platform for it. But here's what you'll find with the course. First of all, I have two courses, a 5 hour, what I call pilot course, and a 9 hour full blown course in which I elaborate even more than I did in the 5 hour course. That was the final course I created uh, with Miracy's help. Here's what you'll find. You get a you get a detailed description of what every column on a name spreadsheet means and why they're there. There's only 13 columns, so you do the whole AIM trading phenomenon, as I like to call it, on an 8.5 by 11 spreadsheet, and I will send those to you. Because the way I work and what I truly recommend for you to is to cover all the bases when you get ready to learn AIM. The first one is the basic one is to learn the basics of AIM from my course. You'll learn everything that'll get you up to about a 50% knowledge of AIM very quickly. It's only 5 hours. It's a combination of videos, text, and whatever we threw in there to help you. A lot of spreadsheets and other examples to help you learn. We love to show you real world examples of AIM working. Now, the next part that is also significant is we teach you how to save money on taxes with AIM. The only drawback of AIM is it's all short-term profits, which would be taxed at whatever tax bracket you're in. The highest, I think, goes to 37%. So even if you were paying the highest tax, let's say 1/3 on average, you'd be making probably 60% a year. You'd pay Uncle Sam 1/3 of that, and you'd still be keeping about 40% for yourself. Now, the way to beat the taxes on that is to do it inside a Roth IRA.
Mhm.
You're allowed to contribute up to $8,000 a year. I think there's some catch-up provisions if you're older. I think 60 or 65, I'm not sure. But I have three segments in my course explaining how the Roth IRAs work, and that there's also a way to change a regular IRA into a Roth IRA through a conversion process. And for those of you who run your own business with just your wife, because that's a limitation on this procedure. If you have your own business and it's profitable, there's a way explained in the segment that basically you can put away a lot more than the 8,000 in the Roth. You can put away about, I think at a maximum of about 110,000 a year if you have a
Wow.
successful business. But you, like I said, it's limited to you and your wife.
Hmm.
Also, I have other segments in there explaining what is good to buy. Because the two things you need to be a good AIM investor is knowledge of AIM itself and then knowledge of the best trading instruments to use with AIM. And I'll tell you right now, the best two are leaps and leveraged ETFs, a new investment that just came out 6 months ago. I feature a model portfolio of leveraged leveraged ETFs in each monthly issue of my newsletter. And since the 6 months have gone by when I first started that list, because that's when the first leveraged ETFs came out, that portfolio, just checking once a month, is up 45%. That's pretty amazing. So obviously I'm going to continue it. And the other thing to realize is if you sign up for my AIM management, you will get many free bonuses. If you have a portfolio of less than 100,000, I will only charge you $1,500 a year. And that comes with bonuses of you will get a free subscription to my newsletter, which is $150 value. And I will give you, for the first year, I will give you a free subscription that's valued at $95 a month. I'll give you a free monthly list of all the stocks that have leaps that I like to show you the stocks that are cheap, which means the leaps will be cheap also to consider buying. And I also update at the bottom of the leaps list about 26 leveraged ETFs that I also show you the 52-week high and low and the current price. And as a bonus for all of the leaps, because there might be some of you who would consider buying an ordinary stock that has a dividend you would like that maybe pays 4 or 5% or something. And what I would do is send you the monthly list, and then so you have the most current of information, I produce a weekly list of the top 10 leaps and leveraged ETFs that I like. I place 4 leveraged ETFs that are cheap right now, and I place 6 leaps that are cheap. And you get that every Saturday. So what you're getting is absolutely current information based on how the leaps and ETFs closed on Friday.
And I just want to cut in really quick to say,
Sure.
folks, there are hundreds and hundreds of stocks. So Jeff has painstakingly taken the time to analyze the best ones to save you so much time and pain, and so that you have the best, you got a head start on this whole process by tuning into all the hard work he's already done.
Oh,
And
thank you.
you've tested these for many years too, a lot of these funds.
Right.
So
I have a portfolio in my newsletter that you'll see once you sign up. And let me plug myself. So if you're itching at the bit to join, here, here's the easiest ways to get in touch with me. My email is Jeff, Jeff, at jjjinvesting.biz, biz, and you're always welcome to phone me 7 days a week. And my phone number in San Antonio, Texas, where I live, is 210-478-0655. And I'll plug that later on in the show too. So we'll give it to you at least when we wrap up. Okay. So basically, I'm giving you everything you need to succeed with AIM. Plus, when you sign up with me for the 1,500 a year, that gives you the unlimited right to call me anytime with any questions you have relating to AIM, because I want to help you. Because AIM is a long-term investing method. You frankly want to do it the rest of your life, and then you want to pass it on to your children, grandchildren, and friends and help them, because the more the merrier with AIM. There's plenty for everybody out there. I've been learning and teaching AIM to people for over almost 30 years, and it's never gone bad.
Are you worried about the future and your current bank balance? It's not too late to catch up with the incredible AIM investing method, the system you can learn and share with others. For generations of wealth building, get started today at jjjinvesting.com.
now, we've talked about this the last few episodes about, this is a game of patience, and this is a method of you can't be emotional in the process, and
Right.
AIM takes the emotion out of investing. So everything is calculated, and yes, it's long term. So sticking with it is key. Now, you've stuck with other things in your life, stuck through for a long time,
Yes.
and
Let me
the
tell you
reason why,
about my billion
yes,
to one shot.
we're gonna go into that, because this is a chance for you to give something to your family, to your spouse, to your children, your grandchildren. You and your wife got together in a very special way. So,
Oh,
I want
yes.
us to take a minute to hear that beautiful story about
Okay.
how you two and how patience won again.
Yes. Patience paid off for me. Okay. I wasn't having much success finding American women that I was liking to date. I have a little bit of Asperger's, which, means my social skills are lacking in many ways. I didn't know that at the time. I'm smart enough intellectually to figure that out myself. No doctor ever advised me. But I had been overseas, and I thought I would look overseas because back in my day, this is the 1970s, and literally the 1970s were like BC, before computers. So
Right.
I found my future bride in the most incredible 1,000,000,000 to 1 shot ever. Her friend in my bride to be was living in Hong Kong. I'm living in Tucson, Arizona at the time. Her friend, without telling my bride, placed an ad in a magazine that somehow I stumbled upon at a doctor's office in Tucson, Arizona. And I just had been thinking about that. And so I wrote to both of those women in the ad, and one responded to me, my bride to be. And it turns out she was working and living in Hong Kong because she was from the Philippines, but jobs were very hard to get back then. And that was the era when Fernando Marcos was a dictator, and it was pretty much of a tough place to live back then. So my bride had managed to get to Hong Kong, where she became a nanny for a very wealthy Chinese family. He was the president of the Hong Kong Dental Society and a prominent dentist. And his wife was a high-level administrator at the University of Hong Kong. And these were the days when Hong Kong was still British and not Chinese. So again, the only way to communicate was sitting down with a pen or pencil in your hand, writing on a piece of paper. Remember those days? And
Right.
and sending letters back and forth internationally. Now you talk about patience. I couldn't send, I was very interested in meeting her, but I couldn't do it because I was still going to college, and I had gone up to Las Vegas to get a degree in accounting because my degree in government and history wasn't doing me any good for the job market. So I wrote and wrote back and forth to her for 7 years. Now, to give you an idea with AIM, in 4 years, I have a free book I'll be happy to send you. Again, my email is jeff@jjjinvesting.com.biz, excuse me, and I'll send you my free newsletter. And I even send you a sample of my top 10 leaps and leveraged ETF lists. And I'll send you a copy of my latest monthly master list of all the stocks and ETFs that I like. So I'm writing her and writing her and writing her. And finally, after 7 years, she's getting a little tired of waiting because she wants a family. And she told me, well, I'm also writing to this Turkish gentleman. And if you don't send for me soon, I'm going to consider the Turkish man because he's willing to send for me now. So that panicked me a little because I really had said to myself many times, if she's anything like her letters when I meet her in person, I'm going to marry her. And so finally, I got the big break I needed, and I got hired by the Army Audit Agency of the U.S. Army to be an auditor. And I had to move from Las Vegas, where I was living, to Warren, Michigan, just north of Detroit in the dead of winter. So that was a shock. when I had sent for her, I told her she's going to have to fly into Reagan International Airport in Washington. No, I think we flew into some other airport in that area in Virginia, maybe Dulles or something. But I went down to pick her up, and the very first time she called me in like literally the middle of the night to tell me she had accidentally not packed her passport, and so they wouldn't let her on the plane in Hong Kong. And so, could I please call the airline and tell them to send back her little, because she sent a bunch of luggage, her little case that had the passport in it. She should have carried it, but she didn't. That's okay. Probably the first time she ever used a passport. And
Right.
so she couldn't come until the second night. Well, I came up there, and let me tell you, it's the strangest feeling in the world to meet somebody you think is going to be your future bride that you know a lot about from letters, but you've never actually talked or met her. I tell her, you know, I said, hi, I'm Jeff, it's nice to meet you, and finally, and it turned out she was a little bit sad because some of her luggage was missing and some priceless things she wanted was missing. I said, I'm sorry. So we put all the luggage we did get into my car, and I said, I hope you don't get the wrong impression on me, but the very first place I'm going to take you to is a motel, because that's where I'm staying when I'm on TDY. So we stayed at the motel, and it was like a block from a Civil War cemetery in Frederick, Maryland. A very famous that's where Barbara Fritchie wrote the poem, about the Civil War.
Mm.
And it was a very famous place during the Revolutionary War. John Jay, one of the very first Supreme Court justices, came from Frederick, Maryland.
How about that?
So we had a great time in Fredericksburg, and then we headed back finally after a couple months. And I'm thinking to myself, we immediately had gotten her a fiance visa and a green card. It was much easier to get them back in the 1970s, by the way. So I got her the green card literally 3 days before her fiance visa would expire. And then we had like I told you, I knew I was going to marry her once I met her right away. So I tried to think of the perfect scenario for proposing to her. It wasn't the greatest, but I waited till her birthday, September 24th of that year, and I got down on my knee and proposed to her. And then we had to figure out where we were going to get married, because all my family was in Maine. My sister, her husband, nephews and nieces, and my parents had moved there because they were a little bit disabled. And it worked out perfectly because after we got married that weekend, we headed back to Michigan on a plane flight, and literally our honeymoon fell right into place because Army Audit Agency was having an area-wide conference in Williamsburg, Virginia, the home of a very famous town. And it turns out my brother-in-law's name was Victor Tuning. He told me, when you get there, look for Tuning Tavern. We have a tavern that was built there back in the 1700s. I
Wow.
went there looking for it, and we found it. So that became our honeymoon. But we've been happily married for over 40 years. We've got a wonderful daughter and 3 grandchildren that I wouldn't have had unless I did a little bit of writing in my youth. So,
Beautiful.
and give you an idea, okay, that was 7 years. Well, guess what? When I wrote my first free book, and again, you can get my free book by writing me at jeff@jjjinvesting.biz, and I'll send you a whole bunch of free information that will help you. And again, if you'd like to talk to me because you got questions, fine. You can call me 7 days a week at 210-478-0655. I'd love to hear from you. And the beauty of AIM is that you can catch up even if you're in your 40s, 50s, or even early 60s, you can catch up and have enough money for a good investment.
Tired of old school cable internet slowing you down? Let Tech Savvy Sales and Marketing Group help you make the switch. We are a leading provider of internet, home automation, security, and TV services, offering high-speed solutions tailored to your needs. Thanks to partnerships with top providers like AT&T Fiber, Vivint, Kinetic Windstream, Brightspeed Fiber, and DirecTV, we can connect you with amazing deals. For example, switching from Spectrum Cable to AT&T Fiber can boost your upload speeds by up to 25 times, providing plenty of bandwidth for smart home devices, streaming, gaming, and work. No more lag or slowing down. Our highly trained professionals offer free personal consultations, and unlike other providers, we go above and beyond with direct communication and doorstep visits to find the best solution, tailored to your exact needs. Call us today to schedule your free consultation or visit our website for more information on our services.